as we always do with some of our reoccurring bits, we're going to be doing the overrated, underrated, and this time it actually comes from Jim. Pretty interesting one, Jim. All right, so we're going to see what we feel about the original Xbox. Is it overrated or underrated? And Jim, I'll let you go first. I'm curious to see what you say.
I think, like, when the original Xbox first came out, that was the first time I think gamers, especially with, like, my group of friends and shit like that, that we ever went, well, if I'm going to buy this, why would I not just buy a gaming PC at this point? Because if, like, it was the strongest one. Like, if you had a multi-platform game, it was going to probably look the best and play the best on the Xbox. And, you know, the problem that the Xbox always had was outside of Halo, especially with the original Xbox, there wasn't that many games that people said were, like, must-buys for it. Kind of a problem.
Fusion Frenzy.
There you go. There's one of them right there. What, Bloodwake? No one says Bloodwake anymore? What happened to Bloodwake? It was like Twisted Metal with boats. Pew, pew. But yeah, so, like, I just always thought, like, because I didn't really touch the Xbox at all outside of Halo until years and years and years and years later. But anytime I pop a game into it, I'm always just impressed with how it plays. So I think the console itself is extremely underrated. Now, as far as its, like, first-party lineup and its, like, actual exclusives go, yeah, it's weak. But if you're, you know, going back in time and collecting for the 6th gen, and if you want to try and go and play all these games the best way possible, the Xbox is the way to do it. Especially if you go and you get the 2nd-generation console, which... or not the console, but the controller, which is all over the goddamn place. So you can't even complain about the Duke anymore that much.
If you have bitch hands.
I didn't mind the Duke. Everyone else minded the Duke. I grew up with the N64 controller. I like the Duke.
Well, all right, so I thought you were going to go overrated. I'm going underrated as well for a lot of the reasons Jim said. The first thing was with Halo and just in general the system. It was impressive, but more importantly, it was a finally, like, PlayStation, granted, it was only a generation before. Like, that was the first true competition to Nintendo because Sega was already on the way out by that point anyway, and Sega was pretty much fully dead by the time Xbox came out. I'm not even going to count the Dreamcast or whatever was left of it. So at this point, it was true competition, and it was something that looked like, okay, this could be legit competition for the PlayStation. And honestly, at the time, Nintendo wasn't exactly doing the hottest, except for like handhelds. So I liked the ability to have competition for the PlayStation. And there were games like Stubbs, Zombies Without a Pulse, Halo. Like, there was plenty of good first-person games. I was like, holy shit, this system... this had some unique ideas.
Right, Toe Jam and Earl 3?
No, Jim. I only just played that.
Jet Set Radio Future.
What about Blinks? What about Blinks the
Jet
Cat?
Set, yeah. Shut up, Jim. But, like...
Conker's Bad Fur Day Live and Reloaded.
That is a great remake.
That's a better example than...
And actually, Crimson Skies, to not be my usual dick self.
Shut up, Jim.
That's a good fighting game!
Just shut the fuck up. The point is, even though we're agreeing, Jim, I just want you to shut the fuck up. So,
Never.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is it's the same gen as PS2, which is arguably always goes down as the best. Oh, there goes my
What
bucket.
the fuck?
Bucket with cleaning materials, keeping that Corona out. It just decided to take a shit. But no, it's like it went against the PS2, which is arguably and always goes down as the best console because it had the best, like, the crazy amount of games. But honestly, whenever you go to a Goodwill or whatever, you can find Xbox games dirt cheap. You can collect for it, and the games run absolutely fine. And there's literally nothing. There's no negatives other than the console itself tends to have problems depending on which model you get. But still, I think it's definitely underrated. Not enough people had it, and I don't see anyone truly defending it out there. So I would find it very hard for anyone to say it's overrated. Nick, what are your thoughts?
So I used to be subscribed to EGM, or Electronic Gaming Monthly, and I was subscribed to it right around the time Doom 3 was coming out. And they also did an article on if the Xbox had been killed too soon. And I full-heartedly agree that it is completely underrated. You know, there were, back in the day, you know, playground talks of, oh, my uncle turned our Xbox into a desktop, and blah, 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 right? And I'm like, oh, wow, that's fucking cool. And my dumbass self believed it because it's Microsoft. But, if you put the games side by side, it's going to look better, it's going to run better. But, I for some reason, I think it's just got the stigma of being like the bro console. And that's why it's almost just neglected altogether as being a contender. Because honestly, when I talk to a lot of people about this generation in gaming, it's always PS2 and GameCube.
Yeah.
No one really ever talks like, oh dude, Xbox had Project Gotham Racing. And I mean, I have a friend who's been a lifetime friend of mine, and I remember he was telling me about the sound physics in Project Gotham Racing. How you could be in the garage and have music playing through your radio, and you go behind the radio, and the music sounds different. Because it had like that much detail to it. You know, Xbox did us right by not having us pay extra for an attachment to have 4-player gaming. You know, Halo. LAN parties, bro. LAN parties were crazy. And even just 4-player split screen on, like, Test Drive. The original, frickin' Rocket League. There was a Test Drive game for the original Xbox that you could, you know, play soccer with your cars.
I heard about that one.
Yeah, and you had, you know, great games. Like, look, yes, there's no, you know, Champions of Norath or Ratchet and Clank for, you know, the original Xbox. But the original Xbox had Halo. Of course, everyone's going to say that. You have Mech Assault 1 and 2. You know, you had what is it? Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance or Sustenance, whatever it was called. And you could actually skateboard as Solid Snake in that version. I mean, there's so many great games. Like, I really do think that the original Xbox was heavily underrated, you know, and it was killed too soon because, especially Doom 3, when if you pop that game in, if you have an original Xbox right now, you put that game in, that game looks like it came out on the Wii generation of games. Like it looks like a 360 game, you know, and unfortunately, you know, it just nowadays is looked at as the bro console because of the name Xbox. Ooh, it's still edgy and whatnot. So it carries that stigma. And side note, the original Xbox has my favorite ever Mad Catz controller. It's not a Duke-like. It's not a S-type-like. It's even smaller. And it makes playing quick twitch games that much better.
Huh.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to grab it right now because it's out. Here we go. This is it. And for video reference, it's green. And it's got this awesome... It's called the Microcon. The Mad Catz Microcon. And it's got like... It's just perfect. It fits like snug. It fits like my phone in my Andre the Giant hands.
Which means it's way too big for Jim.
Dude, yeah, I love that. Anybody want a peanut?
No,
yeah,
but I mean,
underrated.
I like I said, I would be amazed. What I'm really curious is if anyone listening or watching truly feels like it's overrated. Give us a reason, because other than people shitting on the Duke controller, and like I said, the point I had, which was sometimes I've heard bad things about the console crashing or having issues. Outside of that, what was people's biggest issue with the console? And if you felt like it was overrated, let us know below, because I'm always curious to hear an opposing view.
Brian, would you say that much like the Wii U, it wasn't popular enough.
Shut
to
up!
be
I don't
considered
need to
overrated?
hear. I don't need to hear anything after that, Jim.
The only
That overrated
technical
piece of shit.
the only technical issue I've ever had with an original Xbox was the rubber band not working in the disk drive.
Yeah.
So my disk drive was shut permanently.
Oh, dude. Oh, I had the issue once I open it. I put a game in. I go to close it. I have to just push it in manually, or
Right.
I have to smack the top of it for it to come out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
still
guys,
have
my
that, but-
CDI has the same problem.
Shut up, Jim. Daddy didn't say you could talk, so shut up.
I have to eject Hotel Mario.